Hi guys, and for my first interview here on Wrestling Talk Radio's One-on-One, I have with me one of the rising stars in the US independent scene, and surely a breakout year in 2012 for him. My guest is the incredible and awe-inspiring Samuray Del Sol. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm cool. A little tired, but it's cool. We always have that time schedule thing. You being in the US and I'm in Germany, but I'm cool.
Oh, that's good.
All right. So the first question, as pretty much in every interview, is since when are you a wrestling fan?
Well, since I was like maybe 5-6 years old, I started wrestling. I started watching wrestling, Lucha Libre at first. And that's when I was starting watching Mil Mascaras, Blue Demon, El Santo. And then when I got into the States, maybe when I was 7 years old or 8, I started watching WWE, or WWF at the time, Hulk Hogan, all those legends right now. And from there, I started loving pro wrestling itself, Lucha Libre also. So
okay, and the decision to actually become a pro wrestler evolved when?
Actually, it started. I've always had that feeling as a kid, when you have that feeling wow, I feel like I can do this. I feel like I've done that already. It's just something that I felt I knew I was gonna do, but it just never came in mind. And after high school, right after high school, just hit me one day. I'm like, well, maybe I could just try it. I feel like I can do some of the stuff they do. I've seen Lucha Libre. I feel like I can do that. And right away, when I stepped into the ring, I'm like, it came naturally to me. I started learning real fast. And at the time, I started at American wrestling. And I started picking up more stuff because of my background. I did Greco-Roman wrestling for 4 years. And I was a really active kid. I did gymnastics as a kid for a while, taekwondo. So I was really always active. And
so all the basics.
They came naturally to me. And they were the school I was at starting with. They were kind of strict with their basics, and they always had so much rules and everything. So it came to me I'm always. When I first started, I'm like, oh, I don't want to mess up, So it was always I was always under pressure not to mess up. So, and not only that, just I loved it, and it just came naturally to me, and I just took it from there.
Okay. How did your family and friends reacted when you told them, hey guys, I'm gonna be a pro wrestler?
Well, my mom and dad didn't really quite took it seriously at first. They just see that I just it was kind of like a side hobby, which I started doing, and from there I just started getting different bookings. They were watching my work, and they see what I do, because when I first started, I started American and Lucha Libre at the same time. So my family did back me up on that. They were always there for me and everything I needed, if I needed gear, or they kind of helped me out a bit. Because I was in college and I was working at the same time. So I was in college, had 2 jobs, and practicing pro wrestling at the time at the gym. Okay. So I was a busy guy. So they was backing me up and everything.
Is that they were and are supportive?
Oh yeah, they definitely did. But I said, they didn't take it as seriously as I did before. They just thought it was okay, yeah, go have fun. But now that I do it full time, and it's wow, I'm getting bookings everywhere. So it's a blessing as well. Now they see wow, we see you on TV, we see you on newspapers everywhere. They're wow, you're actually living your dream. I'm yeah, I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, and you are pretty good at that.
It's a blessing, It shows that my hard work does pay off. The harder I work, the more I see it pay off. So that's another blessing.
Okay. Who trained you to become a wrestler at first, and maybe even now with the training sessions and stuff?
I've actually had so many teachers to begin with. I had a couple. When I first started, I started here in a little bit further Chicago, kind of the border of Indiana. It was called Windy City Pro Wrestling. So at the time, I started with other wrestlers that had work with like pre-shows with WWE. They know the whole area, and they taught us the basic and theory-wise and everything. So I've had so many teachers, but at the same time, there was another wrestler, lucha libre wrestler, that at the time worked AAA. And his times, he showed me the basics for lucha libre. So at the same time, I was learning both styles, which was really hard on me. And so like throughout that, the lucha libre teacher like brought me to the lucha libre world, especially here around Chicago. And from there, I just started evolving and taking all their tips, and then progressing myself, watching tapes, reading about wrestling. But like I always say, the main teacher that really taught me real good was for lucha libre was Grand Apache. As soon as I stepped into Mexico for lucha libre, it's like a whole different world.
Okay.
And he's a great teacher as well. But like I said, for American wrestling, I had many teachers here around Chicago. One of them is named Steve Boss. He's an indie worker here for a long time here in Chicago. But he knows the concept of everything, and he's a great teacher as well. But like I said, I took many, like from all the teachers, I took many little things what I learned from each one, and I just adapted.
Okay. Since you are wrestling since 2006 professionally, I have you on my radar since about 2007, I guess, because I'm a huge AAW fan.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
That's where I first recognized the name Samuray Del Sol. But I guess, don't want to sound shabby or something, in 2010, I watched a match with Shima Zion, who is now Zima Ion in TNA. Pretty creative with the name change. And yeah, that was in AIW, and then I thought, oh, you know that guy already, and man, has he evolved.
Yeah.
And that is still impressive. And when I look back on 2010 and what I thought, and looking now on 2012, the year you had, man, amazing.
I see that myself too. Like even my own highlight video that I have now, it's really old. But when I look at it now, and I look some of my matches here when I had for example with Kira Tozawa from Japan, or when I have matches with Ricochet, AR Fox, it's like, wow, like I wish I could have done this before, like what was I thinking, So I mean, I learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot from wrestling different types of wrestlers. They could be good or bad, and I still learn from them, So I love to learn.
And that's a good thing. When you are satisfied and not evolving, I guess you are done.
Exactly. And for me, like I don't want to like burst my own bubble. I like perfecting my moves, and like let's just say like the people think I have a great match, but me in reality is like, oh, I could have done this better or anything like that. But I like perfecting my stuff, and when I'm satisfied, I'm satisfied. Or when I'm not satisfied, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this better, or I'm gonna practice this a lot more, or So.
And speaking of the moves you do, how do you create your moveset? What is your finisher, and what's the story behind that?
Actually, one of my finishers I started coming up with is called the Rising Sun, which I go run on the second rope, and the guy catches me in reverse Rana motion, and I just go from it with one single flow. And I've seen a lot of people do it like with a jumping the jumping motion, and I'm like, well, maybe there's a way I can just, since I'm a high flyer and I love jumping the ropes, maybe there's a way I can change it up a bit, So thank God I always go to Mexico and always practice all these lucha libre moves. It gives me so much ideas, and not as that, like simple. I could be at a movie theater or anything like that. I'm like, oh, okay, I just thought of something. It comes to me as well. Every wrestler can say that to you, that like they think when they're not even non-wrestling related, they think of simple moves at the top of their head, like, oh, I just thought of something. So it's a wrestling thing that anybody can tell you.
I just imagine you sitting in the theater watching The Hobbit, and and thinking of a new version of the Hurricane Runner and stuff, and trying it out in the cinema. No.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the story behind The Rising Sun is it's my character Samuray Del Sol. I've always said that the soul represents the spotlight coming down on me, and hopefully that spotlight, my dream being in WWE one day, reaching up to the sky, reaching the stars, and the rising sun could be possibly reaching my goal for that, because that's why I call it the rising sun. Hopefully that move could help me rise above.
Okay. So far it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you are active since 2006, and those are 6 years. And just looking back at the end of 2011 and 2012, if you continue that rise, there is no possibility of not going higher up the ranks.
Exactly. So that's why I work hard, and throughout the road, I've had some ups and downs, especially more downs with injuries. I have 2 major injuries throughout the road, especially in 2011. That was my last major injury, hopefully the last one. So knock on wood. And throughout 2010 and 2011, it was good and bad, So 2010, that's when I was starting to actually travel more, and people started getting to know me throughout the East Coast and around New York. But it was another also major fall, because I was gonna debut for the first time starting here in Mexico. So I could have done all my Mexico stuff throughout 2010 instead of 2011, because I had to postpone it because I ended up breaking my leg a couple of days before I was gonna go to Mexico. So I ended up breaking my tibia bone in 2, and I ended up maybe waiting around 6 months. And I was really depressed, really stressed out. Everything had to put on hold. I kind of felt backtracked, and so it was real depressing at the time, since anything reminds me of wrestling, even at home. But at the time, little by little, I started walking and doing things my therapist told me, and I came back within 6 months. And they told me I was going to come back in a year, but being the extremist that I am, I kind of pushed it a little bit, and I came back within 6 months. And that year, I was better.
All right. I might add, there is a very much back noise to the stuff you do. Is there anything you do around it? It's like a paper on the microphone or something.
Yeah. Sorry, there you go. It's better. Is it better?
Yeah, it's better. Awesome.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem. Sometimes it is even in the technique in the computers and stuff, but yeah. Now it's better. It's better. Injuries. It's the one thing I guess every wrestler has to endure, get through. And my question later on would have been, how do you concentrate yourself on going back? What do you say to yourself? Man, I have to get back. I don't stay depressed. Get back in there. There's still so much ahead of yours. How did you do that?
Well, it'll lead to this. Let me tell you. Well, the first injury, I started going to practice at first, and then from there, I just once I get in the ring, it's like a different feeling for me. It's like I'm home. I need to be here. It's an unexplainable feeling. Like when you love something so much, and then you're there, you're like, wow, I need to pursue this, I need to get this, little by little with my first injury, I started training. Okay, maybe I'll just do this match. I'll set little goals. If I can succeed those little goals, okay, then I'll set up one major goal. Okay, then after one major goal, I'll set up another major goal. So like it'll go on from there and then on. But like the story with my second injury, I ended up getting really badly hurt in Mexico. I ended up it's actually on YouTube if you can see. It's tragic fall for Samurai. It's on there.
Okay.
But I ended up doing a backwards 450 to 10 people, and I ended up falling into my head, crashing really bad. Ended up getting split open. It was a weekend thing I was gonna do in Mexico City, and I ended up staying there for 2 months. It kind of cost me my job, what I did on the side. It kind of cost me everything. So it was really, really hard because I ended up coming back home after 2 months, couldn't see my family, anything like that. But not only that, I was mostly worried about my condition because at the time they didn't let me fly out back to Chicago because of the pressure of the plane.
Yeah.
They said my brain was so swelled up. I literally felt kind of. I always tell this. I literally felt like if I was drunk every day, morning and night, for 2 months.
Okay. Damn.
So it was really bad. It was really bad. After that, I came home. Family got worried and everything. So that was a big turning point. What I had in mind, I was gonna retire for wrestling, and because many things crumbled into my life, and my mom ended up having a heart attack because of her worrying, and it was more worried for me. So I ended up putting things on hold, and then one day I just decided to retire. And since I was scheduled for a big event in Mexico City, it's called Expo Lucha. It's a big expo for the lucha, and all the events around Mexico get it together and make one huge event. It was like the biggest event we do once a year. So throughout that, I ended up I'm just gonna do that show and sell all my masks, all my gear, and retire for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, after that, I mean, this is where I tell you the reason why I changed my mind. The minute I landed into Mexico, I had I had my family members call me and say that this was in 2011 that WWE called me for a tryout. So I'm like, well, that's like, wow, okay, maybe God's telling me to keep going. So that was the big turning point. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna pursue this and I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna work harder. So I ended up
interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I ended up getting attention from AAA, Dragon Gate USA, CZW, and that's when it all happened at once. So.
The ball rolled from there on.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it did. I worked really hard. I ended up staying in Mexico for 3 months, training every day, getting better, learning, and it was a real huge advantage that I did that. So yeah.
There's always stuff I don't know. It's amazing. I
went through a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting. Man, you're 26 and already have thought about retiring. It's crazy. But it's I guess the thing about wrestling. Talked about with Mike Mondo about that, and he was at the edge of retiring for himself, and it was family and friends who caught him on the way down, and everybody, I guess, has to find that thing to keep him going, or he is retiring. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's
easy for me to say, but
we go through a lot, especially. I mean, I don't know. Normally, there's just simple accidents that causes that, but and sometimes it's just an accident waiting to happen. And it happened to me, and I didn't know I was going to continue this, but I did. If it wasn't for that call, to be honest, I wouldn't have been here talking to you.
Crazy, but it's a good thing that it happened as it happened, I guess. Yeah,
it was. It was a very good thing. It's a dream of mine. One day. But right now, my goals are to travel as much as I can, get out there as much as I can, and learn as much as I can. So that's one of my other goals.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly, everything happens for a reason.
To lighten up a little, the one thing I'm always interested in is crazy road stories. You guys travel a lot, and you traveling Mexico and US and back and forth. Are there any crazy road stories that come to mind and you want to share?
Wow, not that I know of. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really. I've traveled like with Sammy Callahan before.
Yeah. Crazy enough. We're done. Sammy Callahan travel. No, continue.
Well, it was a group of people. There was one time we went from Toronto to I think it was in for the CZW event. It was so many of us in the car. Like I ended up, like we're not gonna fit. It was a couple of guys. It was Air Fox, me, like Sammy, and two other guys. And there were so many, and I'm like, well, you know what? How about this? Like, we were debating whether we were going to leave someone behind or not, but I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm small enough. Everyone's huge here. So how about I go underneath the passenger side, and I just crawl in there for 8 hours. So, okay. I mean, it was a fun trip, but at the same time, we could not believe that we fit so many people in that car. And it was just like... It's a story to be told, it's real funny. I always get this a lot from everybody. Since me being a small guy, I kind of crouch into little small spaces, and try to make room for everybody.
Okay, but so, at least it's no pissing on somebody's shoes stories. I heard that from Dave and Jay Christ a couple of times now.
Oh yeah,
but I think they stopped it somewhere down the line.
Yeah, it's just like one of those times I'm like, you know what? I'll be a trooper. I'll do this.
Okay.
I'll just crouch down underneath. Like we'll all fit in.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a fun story.
Alrighty. If you think of guys that you grew up watching and maybe even are watching right now, who would you consider your role models?
My role models? I watched a lot of, to be honest, Eddie Guerrero. I watched Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, like the WCW Cruiserweights.
Yeah.
I watched those. I didn't really have much cable at the time, but I ended up using the internet as well. Started watching ECW, like all the Cruiserweight guys. They caught my attention, so I was a Cruiserweight guy. I had so many in mind, like Ultimo Dragon. I've seen so many guys that are just like athletic, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then when I first, even throughout my career, when I first heard about ROH and I looked it up, I'm like, wow, okay, this is another story. Okay, so everything's evolving, it's everything's like so. I always say this, like. Even on my Twitter, like I do lucha libre and pro wrestling, and I consider it as art in the ring because what I do is like art, and I like showing my art inside and outside the ring with my gear and showing all my moves that no one has seen inside that ring, and especially even more now that I'm coming up with new moves, so I love having that. I love having people coming up to me like, wow, I've never seen this, okay. My hard work paid off, this idea that I had in mind came up. And I'm like, it worked.
And
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I grew up watching all of those guys and, like, Juventud Guerrero back in WCW. Like you said, like, all of those guys, like, all those Cruiserweight guys. But then also as well, like, when I started watching, like, The Rock, Stone Cold, like, Bret Hart, like, those are the big main guys, like showman, they still all the showmanship, but they still work pretty good. So I grew up watching all of them at the same time. So
and picking from every one of those something that you put into your Samuray Del Sol.
I like a lot of Eddie Guerrero, and Ultimo Dragon because of his look. Hayabusa is one of my favorites as well.
Oh yeah.
Hayabusa is one of the great guys I've grew up watching as well, and between like I picked all those three: Ultimo Dragon, like Hayabusa especially, and Eddie Guerrero.
Okay. And that's not a bad list. That's
Yeah.
that is something every wrestling fan should have watched. Those guys.
Oh yeah. Well, and as well, Rey Mysterio, because he's short as me.
Yeah.
You know, we're like the same height, and but I'm a little taller, but we're still, you know, he's humble as well as like I am, and I met him at the tryout too when I had in 2011. Such a great guy, you know, and him doing what he did before as well. He's like, wow, okay, you know, he's short, you know, he's but he made it to the top, you know. That's another great thing, you know, that I looked at. So I was like, oh, cool. You know?
Yeah, he was one of those guys who pretty much opened the door for everything or everybody that came afterwards.
Oh yeah.
In ECW, then WCW, and then that was the time when pretty much more people thought, oh wow, that AAA company is pretty cool, and many people stayed there. I know many wrestling fans that watched the ECW Lucha, Extreme Lucha matches, and they, from that on, are still AAA fans.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because they like the style, and that was a point when there really was, it was no ECW style of wrestling. It was Lucha Libre, but the company said ECW. And that's something in 2011, 2012, 2013, I don't know, you don't find anymore because every company has its style.
Exactly.
And that was
like
new
right
back
now
then.
My goal for me is like bringing Lucha Libre to a new level, you know, with my with everything that I've been and worked with right now, acrobatic and worked Japanese people and learning their style, and then Lucha Libre and pro American wrestling. You know, I want to take all of that into a new level, and that's one of my main goals.
Okay. And as I said in the intro to the interview, I really think that 2012 was a breakout year for you. I said it in 2011 as well, but now comparing 2011 and 2012, it's a whole new level. I know. I don't know. We twittered sometimes. I don't know if that's anything to mention, but it's not that you are on the interview and I'm saying that right now because I said it to people back then as well. And it's really, for me, 2012 is the year so far of Samuray Del Sol. Working for AAW Combat Zone, competing in Best of the Best. Want to mention Pro Wrestling Syndicate, Wrestling Mil Máscaras, which is amazing. AAA, and of course Dragon Gate USA, the Evolve combination. And it's just naming a few. It's you have been pretty much everywhere. Ending the year with winning the Jeff Patterson Memorial Cup. It's 2012 for me personally. It is the year of Samuray Del Sol. Would you agree, or is there something you might add in?
Actually, I agree. You know, I've worked so hard for everything that I've worked for, working for major companies, and I managed to step my foot into that. And you know, I'm really proud of what I did, and hopefully, 2013 to be another great year for Samuray Del Sol.
Okay. Speaking of your Pro Wrestling Syndicate, Wrestling Mil Máscaras for the anniversary show there, and talk something about that because I only can imagine what it means because speak in your words. I can't put it there.
Well, when I first heard that I was gonna head one-on-one with Mil Máscaras, and especially right after his inductee in WWE, that was like, wow, that's a huge honor being there with a legend and like showing the United States, you know, the Americans, not just in Mexico, but showing and being in the United States that people know a lot more about WWE and everything. Like they saw that it was like they can probably see my expression, you know, and I knew that I told my family as well, and they're like, wow, you know what, I'm gonna be facing a huge legend, me growing up watching him too, and I've never in the world thought I was going to be with him wrestling one-on-one. So that actually brought me back, and like thinking as a kid, I'm like, I think I even said it to myself, like, oh, I would like to. I think one day I'm gonna wrestle him out of a joke, or something. And I ended up, thinking back at that, and I'm like, wow, I'm here. I'm up next. I'm going against Mil Máscaras. So it's another huge honor that he was right next to me before I stepped out, and he's like, after throughout the match, it was just an honor being there with him. It's just an unexplainable feeling. I have so many dream matches that I want, but like him was one of them as well. But I didn't think it was gonna be that soon. I was prepared, and just being there in the ring with him was it was a great honor. And after the match, he really liked my style. He prompted me really good, and saying that he really likes my look and everything, and in the future. I'm like, wow, it's a real great honor, especially coming from you. So it's I have so much fun with it. And now looking at the pictures, I'm like wow, I could say that I've wrestled him. Now I have that in my history. So it'll go on forever. So it's something special that that I can now say that I've wrestled Mil Máscaras.
So off the bucket list.
I'm sorry?
So off the bucket list, so to say.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Sorry.
You said that there are many guys out there you would like to wrestle. Name a few.
I would, well, he's in WWE now. I would have loved to wrestle Pac right now. And I would love to wrestle Dragon Kid, actually, one-on-one. Yeah. That's one of my dream matches as well. I have another. Well, in the future, hopefully, if God allows it, one day, maybe a one-on-one against Sin Cara or Rey Mysterio. Those higher lucha guys. I will. It's something I would like to be part of and go one-on-one or tag with. And but yeah, like throughout the indie scene right now, it's like Dragon Kid. Ricochet one-on-one as well. I've gone with Sami Callihan already one-on-one, so I would like a second time. One of my favorites as well. It's Akira Tozawa, which I had a one-on-one with him. Yeah. And I would like a second rematch with him as well. I had so much chemistry with him.
That was Uprising, I guess.
Yes, there was. Oh. And but out of all of them, like right now, I would love a dream match with Dragon Kid.
All right. Speaking of Sin Cara, I don't know if I want to go there, but what do you think of the internet always judging the moves of Sin Cara and call it botches?
Well, I mean, like, I think that I read something earlier that he adapted already. I know he was used to just the lucha style, which he does really well. And like being in WWE, I know it's a different story. The American wrestling and their type of wrestling that they do. I know it's a different style, and I knew that I knew throughout time he was gonna adapt somehow. He did. So right now, I congratulate him that he's doing what he does right now best, and it's great seeing him there. So, and I've met him a couple times, and last time I saw him was at my tryout. It's a real great guy, Other than that, just he adapted. Like it's like we all make mistakes. We're all not perfect, and like I said, like pro wrestling, lucha libre, you can call it whatever, Japanese wrestling, we put our bodies on our line, and we do go through a lot for all the fans. So,
I'm one of those people who would always say it's not his fault all alone, because the guys he wrestled with in WWE are not used to his style. So pushing the blame all to Mystico or Sin Cara is wrong. it's totally wrong, and it's easy for the internet to jump him because they are not telling him eye to eye. But I think it's totally unfair because he's doing the best he can, and you can see watching the matches, as you say, he evolved, he adapted to that style in WWE,
yeah, he did.
and he had no chance in doing so because he was brought up so quickly.
Exactly, it was just a matter of time for him to be adapted.
Yeah.
So
I hope he does better because what I always read, and that's why I don't read that much stuff on the internet, on forums and stuff, but I have the thought, thinking of maybe he will never lose that I don't know, banner over his head botch. I don't know. It's like Sabu. Sabu lived off that.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm hoping that it's not something that Sin Cara will get as a stamp on his head or something.
Well, only God knows what's in store for him, in the future.
Yeah.
So, it depends on how hard he works and everything, which I don't doubt. There's no problem with him. So, yeah.
Coming back to you, what do you consider your biggest accomplishment so far in your career?
My biggest accomplishment so far, it's becoming Octagon Junior.
Mm-hmm.
That's another story that as a kid, I grew up watching Octagon, which is another legend as well, alongside Blue Demon. For the people who don't know, Blue Demon, El Santo, they're legends. All of them were in movies, and they're different. There's different other wrestlers, but Octagon is one of them. And I grew up watching Octagon and watching his movies. And I've even also, as a kid, I told myself, one day I'm going to be Octagon, Octagon Junior or something like that. And funny thing, I had, he was the first mask I've owned, as a kid. It was him and another one called Tinieblas. Mm-hmm. So it's another honor that I had the opportunity for them that they offered me to be Octagon Junior, and especially Octagon telling me that he's seen my style and he wants me to continue his legacy. I'm like, wow, that's another honor, especially in Mexico, they take that so it's real. They take that so seriously, and it's real. It's a big thing of me having a huge name, especially me not being blood related. It's a huge honor with them, and especially Octagon, them wanting me to be Octagon Junior, and I earned it. And they've told me so much. They taught me so much about what I do, and they've seen what my goals are, taking everything to the next level, and they want to put that mask on and continue that name and put everything what I do into the next level. And like I said, it was a huge honor, and especially in Mexico. So I'll be under two characters: Samuray Del Sol in the States and international, and Octagon Junior, especially in Mexico with the best lucha libre company in AAA. Yeah,
that's something maybe fans outside of Mexico sometimes don't understand. What is it that it is an honor becoming a junior, because if you step into somebody else's footsteps, you can't surpass them. But in Mexico, it is maybe even the minute you become a junior, it's a win-win. I don't know. That's the thing. When I compare American wrestling to Mexican wrestling, when you become a junior in America, it's something maybe degrading. But in Mexico, you get higher because you are a junior of somebody who has a name already. Is that
exactly?
Why is it that way? What's the difference between those styles? Because it's pretty much the same thing. But in America, you get sometimes laughed at. You're not really laughed at, but if you can, you erase the junior behind your name. But in Mexico, you want that.
I always tell everybody, the name is just I'm continuing a legacy that's been made already. I'm continuing the name of the man who made, like with my gimmick as well as Samuray Del Sol, they changed it up a bit. It wasn't all completely, his style.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell these people, you have to look at the man inside of that mask. You have to look at the man, that what he does, it's still going to be the same. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what name he's given, you can see that you can see how they make changes in either in TNA or in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The name changes. Either they can put you under a mask or take off your mask. Look at Alberto Del Rio. He started with a mask, and now look at him now. He's without the mask, and his name is a lot bigger as well. But they made him took off his mask, and he's even more on top on the world than he is, So it's the man inside what he does, and the art that he does in the ring and outside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more important than whatever name that he has. But at the same time, valuing the Samuray Del Sol, or Octagon Junior. What I do, it's It tells the person that he is, I take a lot of pride of what's given to me, and it's a real honor for me, especially to take that name, Octagon Junior, and me not being blood related. It's an honor for me that they look into my work and they appreciate everything that I do. So then again, but I tell everybody else, it's the man inside who does those moves, who does everything in that ring, outside the ring, that defines who I am. Mm-hmm. So if they can give me whatever name they want, whoever contracts me or whatever, but I'm still the same person. It's still me inside.
Okay, that's brave to say, I guess. But it's a good thing to have.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe some people who went up the ladder already, if they would have that opinion or mindset, so to say, maybe they would have been successful.
Exactly.
I don't know. Again, easy for me to say, but that's something I'm always looking at, sometimes being sad that one or two wrestlers didn't made it up there because they were... but many times it's yourself that's keeping you or holding you back.
Exactly.
And but again, it's just my opinion. Don't want to step on anybody's toes or stuff. Something with Octagon. I remember playing him on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
He was in WCW versus the World. You had to rename him, but it was Octagon, and I always remember I liked his move, switching around and klingelinge. And now talking to you, being Octagon Junior, pretty much closes the circle for me. Little circle, but it closes the circle.
Exactly.
Now, my opinion, coming to favorite matches. When I'm asked, I would have been asked, what's your favorite match? I would have said my favorite match is the trilogy with El Generico. Yeah, I know there are 3 matches, but I see it as a whole. The 3 matches in Evolve, 14, 15, and 17, I guess, is where, and taking all those 3 matches, as you said earlier, it's art, and
exactly.
I'm a huge El Generico fan, and as some of our listeners already know, I'm a huge fan of yours as well. So putting those 2 names into 1 and 3 matches, and all 3 stand for their own, but I can't pick one to stand out. So I'm picking all 3 as your favorite matches.
Nice.
Would you agree, or is there anything you see as your favorite matches involving yourself in it?
I've had a couple more matches as well that I've had great chemistry with, but out of all of them, I would agree with you as well. I've always wanted to work El Generico. I've worked him once in 2011. That was my first match back with my head injury. If you can see that and compare it to the ones I had, the trilogy I had, the first match I had with him in 2011, I was still really dizzy. I was really getting still back in shape, but mostly I was so dizzy still from my head injury that I had, and I think I came back too early. But like I said, I still had so much fun with him in the ring. But he was also one of my lists of my dream matches that I wanted against to face that high luchador indie star, and it did. It happened, and I was really proud of what he taught me. I was really honored to be in the ring with him, and it's me and him just made chemistry in there, and we made art together, and it's pretty awesome. I felt so happy about those matches, and I've worked so hard, and I put everything into it, and it's just I was satisfied with my hard work, what paid off. Everyone talking about that match, those matches that we had, and it's just, and right now being a tag team partner with him and wrestling around with, it's another great honor. It's me and him click so much.
Yeah, but it's a perfect combination. Not only for me as a fan, but you can see that you two have chemistry. That being said, against each other and with each other in a tag team. That's so rare. I'm comparing it to Beer Money. James Storm and Bobby Roode in TNA, because they had great chemistry as a tag team, but against each other, not so much. And having the chemistry in both parts of the wrestling business, it's so rare and amazing to see.
No, I mean, it's same here. I mean, with his mindset and my mindset put together, it's just like, wow, okay, wait a minute, this is even better. Like we can do this or that. I mean, it's like, we just click. You just put it that way.
Yeah, enough said, I guess.
Yeah, enough said. We just
the Akira Tozawa match you mentioned a couple of times would rank up there as well, but the generical matches are, for me, on a whole nother level. And I know it's everyone sees it different, but when you have two wrestlers, you really enjoy watching and putting those two wrestlers against each other, whatever names that may be, and they have a great match. You cannot not choose them. And so that's not saying you had no other good matches, and especially in Dragon Gate USA and Evolve in 2012, those pretty much every match is amazing, but then there's El Generico. And that's something. That's something. There are now two favorite matches of not being included, so growing up watching or haven't seen in the last years. Are there some you can name?
Of my favorite matches? My debut in CZW against AR Fox. Me and him, we also had chemistry inside the ring, and as you can see, I think it was last year as well, but I can't recall the name of the event, but it was the CZW in Indiana. I ended up having a one-on-one with AR Fox, and we just clicked together. And it's
Super Saturday.
It was like it leaded to the best of the best, kind of. There's a small clip of me and AR Fox on my YouTube channel, and it's like there's a little short of what we did, and it's just so much that we clicked, and me facing him at the end at Jeff Peterson's Cup, it's like, wow, okay, here we go, let's do this again. So, and then now actually, I found out that I'm facing him again in California for Dragon Gate USA, January 26th.
So one of those guys you travel the road with and wrestle every now and then again. So it's something you look forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's him. One of my favorites as well wrestling with is Sima Ion. He's another guy I've traveled with everywhere. You name it, New York, Philadelphia, Jersey, Mexico. Me and him, we have so much in common as well. He's also one of my favorites to wrestle with. Sammy Callahan as well in Mexico, tag teaming with him, practicing everything. You know, it's like going one-on-one with him. It's like real. We had chemistry as well. You know, it's real fun to work your friends as well.
Does it make it easier to wrestle friends or harder?
It's funny. Like you make friends when you have matches like that. You know, just like like, hey, what's up? Call me, whatever. You know, but at the same time, like people that you never met. It's also you make friends like that. You know, like you had a great match. You know, keep in touch. So also with Kira Tozawa, like I said, it's you won't see like too much lucha libre. It's more like a battle, and it's a different type of style. And I like showing the world, you know, the lucha world, pro wrestling world, that not only I can just do lucha libre, man, I can adapt to any style, and that's something that I like to tell everybody, that I speak Spanish fluently and English as well, and I also write it and read it as well. And that's something that I always like to put out there, you know, for everyone to know that I'm just not just lucha libre, I'm also an American.
So the perfect hybrid.
Exactly.
Hybrid is also nowadays. I only hear Ryback when watching Combat Zone, and in there, a hybrid wrestler is a wrestler who can go the ultra violent style and the normal wrestling style.
Exactly.
Putting Masada and Drake Younger on top, I guess.
There you go.
But a hybrid wrestler can be so many things. Just have two things: being a brawler and being a technician is a hybrid.
Oh yeah, and that's something I always like to perfect. You know, like I love when I don't know something, I like to learn it a lot and just study it, and you know, and do it until I get it.
A question that is maybe a little stupid, but I always like to ask it. Are there moments when Samuray Del Sol thinks that it's good that I've become a pro wrestler?
Are there moments that I think that I became a good pro wrestler? To be honest, I always think that I need more improvement. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I like to perfect my moves, and I never think I'm a good wrestler. And many people tell me, "Oh, I've done good," but at the same time, I like critiquing myself, especially my family as well. They've shown I show them my matches, and they're like, "Oh, you know, you did good, but what about this part?" You know, so far that they understand, you know, what I go through. Yes, especially my wife. You know, she critiques me so much. She knows my moves. She understands me, and it's other great benefit that I have her, because she's been through me with my whole wrestling career, and and she knows my moves, and she knows what I do, and it's something that I'm glad, because if she doesn't tell me. Everybody can tell me, wow, you had a great match, but like, I kind of didn't like it. Yeah, I know you already. I'm like, so that's I'm like, all right, that helps me, push me a lot more, you know, and it's something that I'm glad that I have that, or else, you know, I mean, I don't know where I would be right now. So, like I said, I always feel like I know I can do better. I know I can do better. That's always in mind.
Okay, and the decision to become a pro wrestler was a good one? Looking back at the point when you maybe wanted to retire and now are still active, glad you stayed, or
I say it's a good one right now, especially for like what I said, what I've been through, you know, and what the big turning point for me. Now I can say it's a good one.
Do you watch other promotions except those ones you are working for? Meaning the companies everybody knows, WWE or TNA?
Well, when I have time, because usually, like, I'm always on the road. I don't have much time, but when I do have time, I can I'm on the internet or like I'm keeping up like who's doing what and like in either like on Dragon Gate Japan or New Japan Pro Wrestling or anything like CCW. It could be Dragon Gate or other people I know in ROH, TNA, WWE. I keep up with everything, you know.
Okay.
So that's when I can, but when I can't, I usually just go out there and wrestle, come back, rest, and you know. So, yeah.
What would be your favorite promotion?
My favorite promotion to watch right now, it's I like PWG. I like watching PWG. I like watching also AAA. I like watching AAA on the internet. WWE as well. I like watching my friend wrestle, Zima Ion. Like that's when I have time, because I don't, like I said, I don't have cable. Usually I'm on the internet as well.
Okay.
So yeah, just basically those.
And it makes it easier when somebody of your friends goes higher up the ranks, or I don't know. The question would be deservingly so, or a little selfish that it could have been you.
Well, actually, I mean, like we're all here for like depending like what we've been through and all that stuff. Like when I see my friends, like for example, Zima Ion, him being the X Division champion, like wow, that's awesome. You know, it's like go for it. You know, you deserve it. You've been through a lot. As well, when I see other people getting opportunities as well, it's like wow, okay, you know, that's great. You know, I'm not gonna be selfish or anything like that. Oh, that should have been me or something like that. You know what? I just think about, wow, okay, you know, like I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna do this and that, and hopefully get my name more out there. And, you know, right now, I thank God for being the buzz of the talk, whatever, for the 2012. It's like an honor as well. And when I see people getting opportunities, it's just like, okay, that's cool. It's cool. Like maybe it's coming for me. Maybe it's coming for me. I just gotta work harder, and I gotta work harder.
Do you watch your own matches to improve, or do you say, "I was in it, I know what happened"?
I usually like because some of them don't have their DVDs, or some of them don't do iPay-per-views, and well, like for example, always Dragon Gate and other iPay-per-views as well. I love watching my matches, or else I can't perfect my stuff. I critique myself, and I know I get more ideas like, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done that, or that's one thing I love to do, and it's hard too as well sometimes when I don't get a copy of my match. It's really hard too as well when I see that I wasn't happy of what I did or something. It's sometimes hard to get a footage of, especially when I'm on the road on my own, and it's something that I like to do it as well, but not as too much I can do it because like I said, I don't have like their DVDs, or I don't have copies of my matches, or you know, mostly iPay-per-views and everything like that. I watch those matches and they're like, okay, you know, I could have done this better, or this and that. You know, I got to work on this part. And, you know, that's what I like to do.
So constantly improving.
Yeah.
Or else get better. When I said it a couple of times now, 2012 was really a breakout year. But when I look at 2013, and you have wrestled already for, I have to look that up, Crossfire Wrestling. I've just looked at the card prior to the interview, and wow, what a card! and wrestling Matt Cross being the first match of 2013. Matt Cross, also known as M-Dog20. I think 2013 clicks right, continues where 2012 left. It's
when I first saw that match, I'm like, wow, what a great start for a great year. I even tweeted that too. I'm like, what a great start for a great year. And it's like going against Matt Cross, one of my friends, and it's like I've always wanted to wrestle him, never had the chance. And I think it was last time I saw him, I was like, oh, hey man, hopefully we wrestle one day. And just following year I see that, I'm like, wow, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and that being the first of I don't when happened on the 5th of January or something.
Yeah, 5th of January.
First week of January. So let's say that, and it's amazing when you start the year off that way. Then putting up the names that's to come in Dragon Gate and Evolve. I think I will speak when we review 2013. I will review it as a breakout year again for the third time in a row for Samuray Del Sol.
Thanks, man. I mean, like,
but it's crazy. You only can have one breakout year, I guess. But you top it, and amazing.
Oh man, I just hope it keeps going and keeps going. like I said, like all my hard work is paying off little by little, but I just gotta work more hard.
Yeah. When you look into the future, let's say 5 to 10 years, where do you want to be? What do you want to accomplish?
Hopefully, within the next 10 years, hopefully, hard work could be paid off. You know, like I can have either a huge contract with somebody, or you know, I can hopefully, you know, reach my dreams. Hopefully, one day in WWE, or you know, or as Octagon Jr. You know, like with having a huge name with that. You know, hopefully I can do something bigger with that. So, but my biggest dream, you know, hopefully one day to be in WWE. But right now, it's like, yeah, my main focus right now is just like work harder and, you know, try to make more buzz and, you know, see where Octagon Jr. and Samuray Del Sol takes me. Yeah. So.
Okay. We're about to conclude the interview. Are there plugs for website, Facebook, Twitter you want to throw out?
Yeah, actually, there's my Twitter at Samuray. That's with a Y, Samuray Del Sol. Or you can either check my website as well, samuraydelsol.com. And you can also look me up on Facebook as Samuray Del Sol with a Y.
All right, I'm going to put all those links into the description to the interview. On a personal note, said it before in the interview, I'm a huge fan of yours. It's not only that I'm saying it because you're my guest now. I'm honored as, I don't know, put a word there, to have you on my show. And again, I said it a couple of times. If you don't have the brightest future one can imagine, everybody else's would be blind. And I would be doing something wrong because I'm an indie guy. I watch all those shows. It's hard sometimes for me in Germany to get all those, but I watched them, and you are one of those names that surely impresses. Besides maybe A.R. Fox, Rich Swann, and Sami Callihan, which I put up there somewhere. And I don't know, if you don't go high up the ranks, maybe I lose a finger or something.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you appreciating my work, and I appreciate you telling me everything that you know. You admire my work, but no, yeah, like I said, I like working hard, and you know, I like making fans go, "Ooh," you know. Yeah, so
maybe even whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
But only sometimes. More woo.
Yeah, holy shit, you know.
Yeah, holy poop in Shikara.
Oh yeah, there you go. Holy poop.
But yeah, I wish you all the best for the future and for everything that's to come. And I say I'm all aboard the ride. It's I've been all aboard, and I will continue to be.
All right, that's good. No, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for taking the time. Speaking to me, and yeah, again, wish you all the best for everything that's to come. And maybe we talk again in the future and see, maybe January 2014, and I'm going to say again, man, what a year you had.
Well, there you go. I'll be expecting your call.
All right. So thanks again. Take care, and yeah, good luck with everything.
Same thing. Thank you very much. Keep following.
Bye.
Bye.